All right, today we have another fun one. We're gonna be talking about not moving to Sacramento unless you've watched this video and know exactly what you're getting into as it relates to some pros and cons.
All right, so you're considering a move to the Sacramento area and you want to know the good and the bad about living in Sacramento. Stick around because in today's video, we are sharing with you the good and the bad, the pros and the cons of living in Sacramento.
What's up everyone? Welcome to our channel or welcome back to our channel. We're Lance and Lauren with L2 Home Group, and on this channel we talk all about what it's like living in Sacramento and the surrounding areas. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. We're dropping new videos every Tuesday and Friday on what it's like living in Sacramento and the surrounding areas. On top of making these videos, we are also licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means as much as we love making these videos, we love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. We are the ones that answer those calls, texts, and emails. So if you do have any questions about the greater Sacramento area or the surrounding areas in regards to your real estate needs, we would love to help you guys out.
Sacramento is an awesome city with so many great reasons to live here, but there are also some not so great things about Sacramento. So make sure you stay tuned until the end to hear what each of us can't stand about Sacramento.
All right, let's get to it. The first pro on our list of pros and cons of living in Sacramento is the affordability here. When it comes to housing, we are much more affordable than Southern California and the Bay Area. Sacramento is definitely not the cheapest place to live, but in Sacramento and the greater Sacramento area, your money definitely goes much farther than other parts of the state. Now, depending on whether or not you're looking to buy in one of Sacramento's suburbs or stay in Sacramento specifically, here you can find houses starting anywhere in the mid 400s all the way up to $1 million plus. To get a decent house here, you don't have to settle for a small townhome or a condo. You can find much more affordable single family homes.
Our next pro on our list is the food scene here in Sacramento. Sacramento was named the farm to fork capital, making it pretty clear that we have awesome food here. There are so many different restaurants all across the city, many of which are known as being farm to fork friendly, meaning that they source their food locally, giving it exceptionally great taste. Some of our favorite restaurants are Origami Asian Grill, located in East Sacramento. We love coming here and getting one of their bowls with fresh veggies and amazing smoked pork belly and tri-tip. The food here never disappoints. We also love going to the porch on K Street. This is one of our favorite spots for breakfast. They make amazing biscuits and gravy that taste like nothing you've ever had before. It's so good. On top of amazing restaurants, Sacramento also has many foodie events throughout the year. During the spring, summer, and fall months, you can check out some amazing food trucks near the Capitol most days during lunchtime and on food truck nights at McKinley Park.
Our third pro on the list is Sacramento is a sports town. We have an NBA basketball team, the Sacramento Kings, who are actually doing pretty well lately. They play at Golden One, which is centrally located downtown. And it's a cool new tradition that started this season is that when the Kings started doing really well, they light this giant purple laser beam that shoots up into the night sky anytime the Kings win, which lets the entire city know that the Kings have won a game. It's a really cool sight to see, and location-wise, Golden One is the center. It's right in the heart of downtown Sacramento at Doco Commons. There's a ton of local bars, restaurants, awesome food that you can grab before or after the game, which is just, it makes it for a fun night. Sacramento also has a AAA baseball team that's located right across the river at Sutter Health Park. This team is a minor league baseball team and it's part of the Pacific Coast League, and it's a AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. This baseball team does some really awesome, cool nights out at the ball field, from themed nights to local charity nights to a fun kids night. Sacramento also has a soccer team, the Sacramento Republic FC, and they play at Heart Health Park. Now, the Sacramento Republic FC, it's an American professional soccer team that plays in the Western Conference of the USL. Sacramento definitely has a ton to offer if you want to catch a game here.
The fourth pro on our list is job opportunities. Sacramento has a growing job market, especially in the healthcare, technology, and government sectors. In Sacramento, you have the main hospitals with Sutter, Mercy General, Kaiser Permanente, Shriners Children's Hospital, UC Davis, and Methodist Hospital of Sacramento. There are also a ton of doctor's offices located across the city. All of these medical offices provide a ton of job opportunities if you're looking for a job in healthcare. Sacramento has a ton of tech companies as well. Some main employers in tech are PennyMac, Siemens, and Clear Capital. Sacramento being the capital of California, we also have a ton of government and state jobs with the state of California all across Sacramento. So if you're looking for a job, Sacramento has a ton of opportunities and is probably the best place for you.
The fifth pro on our list is the weather here. Sacramento has 4 full seasons. So it's not like you're living in the heat or the rain year round and you don't have to deal with one for any extended period of time. Our spring here is absolutely beautiful, but when it does get to be summertime, it does get really hot. Last summer, we had a record-breaking 41 days that were at or above 100 degrees. But moving on to our winters here, they can also be super wet and rainy. This winter has been the reverse of that, and it's been one of the wettest winters that we've had in a super long time. The storms will come in and out where it will rain anywhere between 3 and 5 days, and then we'll get a break where the sun will peek out for a day or two just between storms rolling in. But the one nice thing about the winters here is that even when it's really rainy, the winter is nice when the sun peeks out. Now during the fall in Sacramento, it's absolutely beautiful when all the trees start to turn and all the streets start to change all their colors.
The sixth pro on our list is cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is one of the biggest pros of living in Sacramento, and it's a big part of what makes this city such a unique and fascinating place. Now, what do we mean by cultural diversity? Well, the first thing is inclusion and acceptance. One of the benefits of living in this culturally diverse city is the sense of inclusion and acceptance that comes with it. Sacramento is a city that celebrates diversity and encourages people to embrace their cultural heritage. This means that you're likely to find a supportive and accepting community no matter where you come from or what your background is. Another way Sacramento is culturally diverse is through its festivals and celebrations. Sacramento is home to a variety of festivals and celebrations that showcase the city's diverse cultural heritage. Some of the most popular events include the Pacific Rim Street Festival, the Chinese New Year celebration, and the Sick Parade and Festival. All of these events are a great way to learn about the rich cultural diversity that Sacramento has to offer. And they're also all really family fun, friendly events.
All right, now our last pro number 7, before we get into our cons, is probably one of my favorite reasons to live in Sacramento, and that is Sacramento is a water town. We have the Sacramento River and the American River. We also have Folsom Lake and Lake Matoma. Now, having these 2 rivers and 2 lakes provides with some great opportunities for things to do in the summer and the spring months where you can go and cool off and enjoy a day with your family and friends. Now, you can spend an entire day out enjoying the river on the banks. You can go fishing, you can grab some beers, or you can go grab a tube and float down the river. You can also spend the entire day boating on these waterways as well. One of the cool things about the rivers is you can drive your boat all the way up to Chevy's or crawdads on the river and enjoy a nice dinner out or lunch overlooking the water. Now, before we get into our list of cons, if you're liking this video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and comment down below what else you think are pros about living in Sacramento. Now, while Sacramento has a lot of really great reasons to live here, there are some cons. Now, some of these things are either something that we absolutely can't stand, and other ones are things that you should just definitely know before you consider making the move to live here.
Let's get to it. First on our list of cons is the air quality. The air isn't bad here all of the time. However, Sacramento can experience high levels of smoke during wildfire season, which can make it hard to breathe for people with respiratory issues. Sacramento and the surrounding suburbs sit in a valley, and during wildfire season, if the winds aren't in our favor, the smoke can carry into the region and sit stagnant until the winds shift and the smoke is carried out. So if you have breathing problems or respiratory issues, this is definitely something to be aware of. The other thing about bad smoke days is that they cancel pretty much every outdoor activity, from children's sports to outdoor activities at school. Basically, until the smoke clears, you're stuck inside.
Yeah, so it can be not super fun if you have little kids that all they can do is sit on their tablets. Now, on to con number 2 for Sacramento is the traffic. Like any other big city, Sacramento can experience heavy traffic during peak hours, especially on the freeways. It can be super frustrating and time-consuming to navigate the city during rush hour. We have had a ton of new construction around the area, as well as a ton of people relocating here from other parts of the state, which has increased our traffic. This has caused our traffic to be much more congested during heavy commute times. Now, don't get me wrong, the traffic can be bad, but nothing like Southern California or the Bay Area if you're familiar with either of those 2 areas. Now, depending on where you're commuting, it can be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get to Sacramento and some of the other surrounding areas of downtown or midtown. Now, if you live directly in Sacramento, commute times can be different across the city and vary depending on usually streetlights and traffic. Our 2 main freeways are going to be Highway 50 and Interstate 80 that bring traffic in and out of Sacramento from the surrounding suburbs. And that can vary depending on what suburbs you're living in.
Next up, con number 3 is limited public transportation. Even though Sacramento is the capital of the state, we don't have a ton of public transportation. We don't have a fancy subway system or a ton of trains or things like that. We do have city buses and a light rail system that can take you a limited number of places. The light rail system, if you are coming into the city from Folsom, you can catch it there. But it has limited stops and doesn't go everywhere in Sacramento. You can also catch an Uber or Lyft in the city, and they are usually pretty easy to get. Another form of transportation in Sacramento is the jump bikes or scooters that you can rent through an app. Then you ride to your destination and power it down and leave it on the street. These are handy if you need to get somewhere a few blocks away and you don't want to walk, but you want to rent a bike or scooter.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is so the light rail doesn't really go anywhere along the 80 freeway. So if you're coming from Roseville, Rockland, Loomis, Lincoln, Granite Bay, that can be kind of a downer. And the other side about Ubers and Lyfts is, again, being in those suburban areas, if you got to go to the airport or if you got to go to Sacramento, the Uber ride can be a little costly. It could be anywhere from $30 to $50 depending on where you're coming from in one of those surrounding suburb areas.
Moving along to con number 4 is the heat here in Sacramento. Now, I know earlier we said the weather here is a pro, and it is, but if you don't like the heat and multiple days above 100-degree weather in the summertime, then Sacramento might not be the place for you. Now, our heat isn't a crazy dry, excruciating heat, but if you don't plan accordingly and you don't run your AC, the heat can be miserable. While the weather is generally pleasant in Sacramento, summers can be extremely hot with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees, making this uncomfortable for some people.
Now, one of the things to keep in mind with the heat is that this could be a pro or a con depending on the person. I personally love the heat and would prefer to be warm over cold any day of the week. However, in the summertime, when we do get some of these stretches of days where the weather can be above 100 degrees for a couple weeks in a row, people start contemplating their move to cooler states like Oregon, Colorado, or Idaho. Sometimes those weeks can seem to last forever, but once we get back into the spring and the fall months, we realize why Sacramento is so awesome. So just another thing to consider if you're not very adverse to the heat. Last thing on our list of cons in Sacramento is the walkability. Sacramento and the surrounding cities are not very walkable. Now, if you live in downtown or midtown Sacramento and you work only a few blocks away, then this is the exception to the con. Most places in Sacramento or the surrounding suburbs, you're gonna need a car to be able to get places, run most of your errands, as well as getting to everyday life activities like work, restaurants, kids sports, or whatever. So there you have it, the pros and the cons of living in Sacramento. Now, while there are certainly some downsides to consider, the benefits of living in the city far outweigh the negatives. So whether you're interested in culture, food, outdoor activities, Sacramento has a little bit of something to offer everyone. If you do have a specific question on anything related to Sacramento, the surrounding areas, or the surrounding suburbs, or what it's like to live here, so feel free to drop a comment below and we look forward to hearing from you soon.